Attack on Movies presents 5 festive favourites. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Hi, I'm Luke Cage, and I'm here to tell you I support Attack on Movies, and you should too. You hear me, fool?
Hello and welcome to this special Christmas-themed edition of Attack on Movies, where we'll be taking a look at some favourite festive movies. As you can see, I've dressed for the occasion. We'll be kindling a little Christmas spirit with a hilariously cynical Bill Murray, meeting a sweet old man who might just be Santa Claus if he isn't a demented lunatic, enjoying the blood, sweat and snarky comments of Bruce Willis in a filthy vest, and watching Jimmy Stewart fall apart at the seams. But first, a musical from the Hollywood Golden Era. Meet Me in St. Louis was released in 1944 and stars Judy Garland as Esther Smith, the relatively sensible sister among a group of girls living in St. Louis at the beginning of the 20th century. The plot is simplicity itself. Esther fancies the boy next door, so much so that she sings a song about it, called The Boy Next Door. Her big sis is less picky and spends the movie shopping about for a husband. It's trivial and charming and full of youthful longing. The film was directed by Vincent Minnelli, Garland's future husband, whose incomparable eye for gorgeous detail is evident in every shot and every aspect of the production design. The songs are top-notch if you like that kind of thing, and have mostly become accepted classics within the great American songbook, although the versions here have never truly been equalled. The material suits Garland down to the ground, and she sings with a kind of piquant yearning that sets her apart from pretty much every other musical star. But what makes this a Christmas classic? Well, the penultimate scene takes place on Christmas Eve. The family are going to leave St. Louis and aren't too pleased about it. Esther's little sister has a bit of a cry and beats some snowmen up to let out her frustration. And so to calm her, Garland sings the silkiest, most moving of all Christmas songs. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. If girls giggling, falling in love, singing in colourful dresses and doing a bit of crying isn't your cup of tea, then how about this forgotten Christmas cracker? I can't believe I just said that. It's Christmas Eve. Bill Murray is the president of an enormous television network involved in broadcasting a live version of A Christmas Carol, retitled Scrooge. But he isn't exactly full of the spirit of Christmas. One might even call him a humbug, or possibly just a horrible bullying git. Hilariously funny for us, of course. Inevitably, he's visited by 3 ghosts, and after some pretty heavy-hitting slapstick comedy, in one scene the ghost of Christmas Present, a fey-voiced fairy in a tutu, literally beats some sense into him, curmudgeonly Bill sees the error of his ways and decides he loves Christmas. Murray is at his abrasive, brilliant best, while Karen Allen, who was so winning back then, plays the love interest who gives him something worth being nice for. The movie also benefits from the surprising presence of screen legend Robert Mitchum and a significant cameo from John Houseman, who nearly 5 decades earlier took a hand in the creation of Citizen Kane. So there you go. The movie concludes with one of Bill's best, you might say Murrayist scenes. Now in love with Christmas, he bursts onto the set of Scrooge while it's being broadcast and implores the audience to find the miracle within themselves, and sets off a giant Christmas party that involves the cast, the crew, and everyone watching at home. Then, as if that weren't enough, the closing theme kicks in, Put a Little Love in Your Heart, a great version of a great song and great advice, especially at Christmas. If the idea of spending Christmas with the magnificent Bill Murray isn't your idea of a good time, what kind of monster are you? Then maybe you'd prefer something that cuts right to the heart of what Christmas is all about. I'm talking, of course, about an unswerving, passionate, open-hearted faith in something bigger than all of us. Something that can't possibly be proven, but which we all deep down know to be true. I'm talking about Santa Claus. Why, what did you think I meant? In this, the original 1947 version of Miracle on 34th Street, Santa Claus, or at least a nice old man with a fine white beard who thinks he's Santa Claus, gets a job working at Macy's as, you guessed it, Santa Claus. There he makes friends with the boss's daughter, played by a 9-year-old Natalie Wood, and does his best to convince her that he's the real Kris Kringle. believing that if he can make a little girl and her family rediscover the true meaning of Christmas, then maybe it isn't too late for everyone else. Edmund Gwenn, who played the supposed Santa, has such a pleasant, shining face, such a glint of pure Christmas joy in his crinkle-cornered eyes, and such a magnificent white beard that by the end you may well be saying to yourself, well, of course he's Santa Claus. Okay, so we've had romance and song, Bill Murray getting slapped around, and the appearance of the real Santa Claus. Not satisfied? Right then, it's time to get out the big guns. Lots of them. Once again, it's Christmas Eve. Bruce Willis plays John McClane, a hard-bitten New York cop visiting his estranged wife at her place of work, a skyscraper still under construction. But this isn't to be a warm and fuzzy reunion. A gang of master thieves posing as terrorists take the building over and hold everyone hostage. Everyone except McClane, that is, who shoots, hangs and blows them up one at a time, while his vest just keeps on getting dirtier. In the words of Hans Gruber, played with reptilian charm by the irreplaceable Alan Rickman, ho, ho, ho. But is it really a Christmas movie? Well, if Bruce Willis crawling through a heating vent talking to himself, throwing C4 plastic explosives down a lift shaft before being blasted across the room, or delivering the immortal line, yippee-ki-yay, doesn't fill you with Yuletide spirit, my friend, nothing will. So, you don't fancy watching Bruce Willis blasting the kneecaps off bad guys over a glass of mulled wine? I won't pretend to understand your attitude, but okay. I've saved the best for last. It's a Wonderful Life tells the story of George Bailey, played by Jimmy Stewart, an imaginative, resourceful, ambitious young man living in the small American town of Bedford Falls. All he wants to do is shake the dust of the town off his feet, go out into the world and achieve great things. But at every turn his plans for escape are thwarted. Bedford Falls needs a man like him, and whatever ambitions he may harbour, his sense of morality just won't let him run away until he's done the right thing. People often think of It's a Wonderful Life as a sloshy, sentimental sort of film, but it's actually pretty bleak, at least up until the end. George is trapped by his own basic human decency. He lets one dream after another slip away, while his less principled friends and family get ahead, until he just can't take it anymore and has a full-blown nervous breakdown. Not, one might say, the true spirit of Christmas. But never fear, an angel comes down from the stars and shows poor George that the only riches a man truly needs are the love and esteem one earns through a lifetime of doing good deeds. And what better time to realise how much you mean to those you hold dear than at Christmas? It's a Wonderful Life is the quintessential Christmas movie. It's also a masterpiece. Now a final word from our sponsor.
Hi again, I'm Luke Cage. Now I may not be no Tiny Tim, but I'm here to tell you, God bless us, everyone. Fool.
Indeed. Thank you for joining us on this journey through some festive movies. There are many more worthy Christmas flicks, of course. Maybe you'd like to tell us your favourites. In the meantime, why not make my Christmas dreams come true by subscribing to our YouTube channel and checking out the rest of our content on attackonmovies.com. There you'll find video reviews of recent movies, as well as our wide-ranging Movie A to Z known as The Guide. Merry Christmas. See you in the new year.